A poor 12-year-old girl walked to the mansion of a paralyzed millionaire, not to beg for food, but to trade her drawings for his leftovers. People laughed at her. The guards ignored her. But what happened next shocked an entire city. Because one night, during a deadly storm, this little girl would become the reason the millionaire stood up for the first time in years. This is the heart-touching story of how kindness between two broken souls created a miracle. The day everything changed for Maya, a poor 12-year-old girl from a forgotten, broken neighborhood, began with just one word: hunger. Not the regular kind of hunger that comes between lunch and dinner, but the kind that crawls into your chest, shakes your bones, and makes the world blur for a moment. Maya had learned to survive on hope more than food. She lived with her mother in a tiny one-room house made of patched metal, sheets and wooden planks that barely held together when the wind blew. The floor was cold, the roof leaked during rain, and the cupboards were mostly empty. Her father had passed away years ago due to illness, leaving behind only memories and medical debt. Since then, her mother had been working 2 tiring jobs, cleaning houses during the day and washing dishes in a small restaurant at night. Yet even with all her efforts, some nights they would lie down on their thin mattress with nothing in their stomachs but water and prayers. Still, Maya carried something far more powerful than money. She carried hope, soft, stubborn, and unbreakable. Every evening after her mother left for her second job, Maya would walk several miles toward the wealthy side of the city. The contrast was painful: smooth roads, shining streetlights, tall mansions, and sweet scents drifting from windows where families ate warm meals together. But Maya never let jealousy touch her heart. She only came for one reason. At the end of the road stood the grand mansion of the city's richest man, Leonard King. People said he was once a joyful and adventurous man, until a tragic car accident left him unable to walk. His legs no longer responded, and he had shut himself inside his enormous mansion, surrounded by expensive furniture, silent halls, and memories he wished he could forget. Every night, the mansion's guards placed bags of untouched, perfectly good food outside the back gate, the leftovers from Leonard's meals, prepared by professional chefs. Maya waited there, but not to beg. She came to trade. She carried with her a small, worn-out notebook, its pages filled with drawings she made whenever she felt hungry. Sad or scared, these weren't ordinary drawings. They were little pieces of her heart. Rainbow clouds over broken homes, birds lifting children toward sunlight, lonely people smiling as hope returned, and sometimes a man in a wheelchair surrounded by bright light as if rising again. Every night she would hold out a drawing and ask the guards gently, "Can I trade my drawings for the leftovers?" The guards often laughed. Sometimes they ignored her. Sometimes they shook their heads and told her to leave. To them, her drawings were nothing but childish scribbles. But Maya kept coming. Rain or heat, tired or hungry, she showed up every single evening, smiling, hopeful, ready to trade the only thing she had for the thing she needed the most. And though the guards didn't realize it, someone else inside the mansion had started noticing her, someone whose own heart was starving for hope. One evening, Maya gathered every bit of courage inside her small, trembling body and did something she had never dared to do before. Instead of quietly slipping toward the back gate, she walked straight to the front, toward the giant, polished doors where only expensive cars and important visitors entered. Her heart pounded, but she lifted her chin and shouted in a loud, clear voice that echoed through the quiet neighborhood. "Mr. King, I want to trade my drawings for your leftovers. Maybe it will bring you a miracle, too." Inside the mansion, Leonard King sat in his wide living room near a tall window. His motorized wheelchair hummed softly beside him. He stared at the world outside with tired eyes that once used to shine with ambition and excitement. His mansion was beautiful, but it felt like a prison. Every corner of his life had become predictable. Meetings on screens, bland meals prepared by chefs, stacks of medicines, and long, lonely hours filled with nothing but silence. The accident that had taken away the use of his legs had taken much more than mobility. It had stolen his smile. When Leonard heard Maya's bold voice, he was startled. Very few people ever approached him directly. Curiosity flickered inside him, and he instructed the guard to bring her in. Moments later, Maya stood before him. She looked so small in the enormous room, her clothes worn out, shoes dusty, but her eyes were filled with a courage and light he had not seen in years. Leonard frowned and asked, partly amused, partly confused, "Why would I trade my food for these childish drawings?" Most children would have lowered their head. Maya didn't. She stood firm and replied, "Because miracles happen when two broken people help each other." Leonard burst out laughing. Not in a cruel way, but out of pure disbelief. "Help me," he said. "A girl who doesn't even have enough to eat?" Without saying a word, Maya placed one of her drawings gently on his lap. It showed a man in a wheelchair, but surrounded by bright, glowing light as if rising. Softly she whispered, "Maybe you don't need legs to stand again. Maybe you just need a purpose." Her words hit him like a bolt of lightning, and for the first time in years, he stopped laughing. From that day onward, Maya was welcomed into the mansion every evening. Not through the back door like someone unimportant, but through the front door, as if she belonged there. Leonard continued giving her the leftover meals, but soon he refused to let her leave immediately. He insisted she sit with him at the long dining table, where two completely different worlds met over warm food. Maya spoke about her dreams, her fear, her mother, and the little miracles she drew in her notebook. One day Leonard asked quietly, "Why do you draw miracles?" She smiled gently and replied, "When life gives you nothing, you must create your own miracles." Those words touched him deeper than any therapy, any doctor, or any expensive treatment. Soon he found himself waiting for her footsteps every evening. Her giggles echoed through his silent mansion. Her hope softened the bitterness in his heart. And one evening, Maya caught him trying to move his legs, something he had abandoned long ago. He looked at her with emotion and said, "You make me feel alive again, broken in different ways, yet healing together." Their unlikely bond became the miracle both of them needed. One night, a violent storm smashed into the city, flooded roads, crashing tree branches, darkness everywhere. But the only thing Leonard noticed was Maya's absence. She never missed a day. Fear pressed against his chest as he tried sending guards, but even they refused to step out into the chaos. So, for the first time since the accident, Leonard rolled himself out into the raging storm. Rain soaked him instantly, wind almost flipping his chair, but he pushed forward, driven only by worry. Reaching Maya's neighborhood, he heard her faint cry. Without hesitation, he fought the fallen roof, lifted the beam, and stood just long enough to save her. And when she whispered, "I told you!" Miracles happen when broken people help each other, he realized she was right. Leonard was rushed to the hospital that stormy night. Doctors gathered around him in disbelief. The scans, the nerve responses, the sudden activation in his legs, none of it made sense. For years, his body had shown no improvement, but the effort he made to save, Maya had awakened something they thought was gone forever. He wasn't fully healed. Not yet, but he had taken his first real step in years, and that single step changed everything inside him. As soon as he was discharged, Leonard made a decision. He moved Maya and her mother out of their dangerous, collapsing house and into a clean, safe apartment. He paid for Maya's schooling, books, uniforms, everything she needed to chase the dreams she had once only drawn on paper. Then he returned to his mansion and did something unusual. He took every drawing Maya had ever given him. The rainbow clouds, the smiling faces, the glowing man in the wheelchair, and had them framed in golden borders. He hung them across the mansion walls like priceless art. Every day Leonard practiced walking again. Slow steps, painful steps, trembling steps. But every time he looked at those drawings, he felt strength rise inside him. One afternoon, Maya visited after school. She ran to him with her usual bright smile. Leonard looked at her with pride glowing in his eyes. "You traded me leftovers for a miracle," he said softly. "But you gave me something even greater." She tilted her head. "What's that?" Leonard's voice broke slightly as he answered, "You gave me back my life." Tears filled Maya's eyes. "And you gave me hope that miracles are real." The millionaire and the poor girl, two souls wounded in different ways, had healed each other, and their story spread across the city, teaching everyone one truth. Miracles don't come from magic, they come from kindness.